All right, man. I'm finna hit y'all with another story time, right? Okay. I've been trying to see which story I want to hit y'all with, right? I think I'm gonna hit y'all. Okay. This is a story about when I say I was like 13, and I hit a lick on like a pound of weed I stole from a neighbor, right? But it's crazy how it happened, right? Okay. Of course, I gotta use different names, right? I can't even say what street, but I was 13, right? Now, the neighbor, they lived a few doors down, right? It was a woman. She had a son that lived with her. She had two brothers that lived with her, right? Her two brothers that lived with her, they were grown. And, they was grown. I'm just going to say that. They was grown, right? Now, her son, he had to be like, I want to say like 10. He had to be like 10. Mind you, I told you, I'm like 13 at the time. He had to be like 9 or 10, right? So y'all say like, what the just keep listening, because they was neighbors. So on this particular day, right? Now, I knew one of the lady, I knew one of her brothers like sold weed, right? Now, this is a grown-ass lady. So her brothers are grown-ass men. So I knew they had sold weed, right? So on this particular day, right, the lady, her son just, he around me that whole day. He around me the whole day, right? When I go walk him home at nighttime, right, he tell his mama out of nowhere, mind you, I swear to God, out of nowhere, he tell his mama like, yeah, can you spend the night? His mama say, yeah, right? She say, go make sure, it's okay with your mama. I go down there at this time, like I didn't even ask my mama. I just told my mama, hey, I'm spending the night by such and such house, a few doors down. Okay. Well, they kind of asked, like, what the fuck you doing? Because the lady's son was young, right? So, but mind you, I had a plan in my head the whole time. It's crazy how this shit worked out, right? So my mom said, yeah, right, we go back down there. We end up going to the grocery store. We end up going to Blockbuster, getting some movies and shit, right? Spend the night. Go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, the mom, she go to work. But before she leaves, she tell her son, like, man, don't go outside before my house. Make sure my house clean before you go outside, right? All right, woo. She leave. Now, I go down to my house to go get a change of clothes, right? Mind you, this the next day, the morning. I go get me a change of clothes, right? So when I come back down to his house, I was about to iron my shit, but I noticed the son, he was cleaning up, right? So I'm helping him clean up. I'm in the kitchen. The lady, her brother, he in the kitchen ironing. As he ironing, he talking to me. He like, man, I bet you be getting at all the little females, don't you? I'm like, hell yeah, woo. He like, yeah, man, yeah. He was like, the nigga say, yeah, you look like it. You look like you gonna be a little player, right? Like, yeah. So he running up and down the stairs, right? The basement to upstairs, right? The steps was in the kitchen. So you had to go in the kitchen, right? So mind you, I'm in the kitchen. He running up and down the stairs, right? One trip, I noticed he at the kitchen counter with a big ass bag of weed. I'm talking about a big stupid ass bag, right? But at this time I know now that I'm grown, he had to be bagging up bags of ounces, right? He had about 10 of them laid out, right? He tying them up. So he looked like he getting ready for the day. He finna pack this shit up, drop that shit off, right? So he hop in the shower, he leave. In the midst of all this shit, I'm cleaning up, right? Her other brother, he must be gone, I guess. His room in the basement too, but he got a lock on his door, right? So now, mind you, when dude was talking to me, right, and mind you, I'm paying attention to him going up and down the stairs with this weed. So I know the weed is downstairs, right? So he end up leaving, right? When he leave, old girl's son, right? And I swear to God kill me if I'm lying. He tell me, hey, he said, hey, you wanna go try to look for my Uncle Weed? When he say that, shit, I'm like, shit, yeah. So the uncle room was upstairs, like, was on the main floor, right? So we go in this room, we looking through shit, right? I'm kind of got it in my head, like, if I come across it while I'm looking for it, I'm just gonna tell him like, oh, I'm just gonna be like, oh no, I ain't find it, and double back, right? It turned out we didn't find it. We back in the living room watching the movie, right? And mind you, I told you I seen him taking the shit up and down the steps, you know, in the basement, right? But I didn't want Lil Dog to know nothing. So while we in the living room, right, Lil Dog say, he like, dang, my stomach hurt. I'm like, shit, go use the bathroom. He run to the bathroom, right? He on the toilet. While he on the toilet, I'm like, damn, this is my perfect opportunity. So I go in the basement. I get to looking. I'm looking everywhere, right? Don't see it. I come back up. So I'm trying to hurry up and come back upstairs before he come out the bathroom, right? So when I come back up the stairs, he's still in there. I'm like, bro, you good? He like, yeah. I go back downstairs in the basement. I'm looking. I open the dryer, open the washer. It's a room down there with a door, and it got a lock on there. I'm like, but I remember he telling me like that's his uncle room, the other uncle, right? So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't think it's in there, you know. So I'm looking. I'm like, damn. I hurry up and run upstairs, right? He's still on the toilet. So at this particular time, I'm exhausted. I'm standing at the top of the steps. And as I'm standing there, right, I walk down the steps slowly, right? And at the bottom of the steps, I stand there and I'm thinking, right? I said, damn, well, you got to walk down the steps. Down the steps. I'm like, behind the steps. It got to be a way behind. So I'm already down there, right? So you make a left, boom. It's a little thing that's behind, like, and you know, you go down the steps, you know, it's something in back of them steps. When I go in back of there, it's a toilet. It's like a miscellaneous toilet, just stare. It ain't hooked up or nothing, right? Soon as I open the lid, you just see a big ass bag of weed. And I think before I seen the weed, I think the smell hit me. I'm like, damn, right? This nigga, he was kind of smart because dog had that shit in the toilet, right? So peep game. I run upstairs. I go get plenty Ziploc bags, right? I go downstairs. I'm filling the bags up with the weed, putting them in my pocket, right? Back then it was Jabos, right? We was wearing Jabos, so I had on a pair of Jabos, right? And I'm pretty sure they wasn't mine. I'm pretty sure it was my mama's boyfriend's or something. But Jabos, the pockets is deep. After I filled up like 6 bags, right? Even after I fill the bags up, it's plenty weed left. And I just started putting the weed in my pocket without a bag, right? I come upstairs, Tony, he sound like he, you know, getting done, right? In the bathroom. It sound like he getting done in the bathroom, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm finna go down the street and grab something right quick. He like, all right. I go down the street. As I'm walking back to my crib, I'm walking with a man, right? My big sister, right? I used to always look up to my big sister and her boyfriend, Phil, rest in peace, right? And the first person I went to was my big sister. My big sister was in her room sleep, right? This is how I wake her up. I take the weed out my pockets and I put it by her nose. She wake up, it's like this, right? She like, where you get that from? Now, back then, mind you, I'm 13. My big sister only older than me about 2 years, a year and something, right? She like, where you get that from? I'm like, and this the excuse I told him, right? I said I was at this corner store that was in our neighborhood. I ain't gonna say which one. I was at the corner store. The police pulled somebody over. They got out the car and ran. And when they got out the car and ran, they dropped some shit and the police were chasing them. And I picked the shit up and went. I don't know why I said this, right? But come to find out, right? My sister and them, they never believed this story, right? Never. So back then, right, we were smoking Easy Rolls. Easy Rolls was equivalent to backwoods, right? You can roll the easy rolls. You can roll your shit thick as hell, right? If you got plenty weed. So I go to my mama boyfriend, right? You know, cause now I gotta tell them I'm 13. I can't hide all this weed. I've never had weed like this. Like hell no. So something had to shake, right? I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm finna tell them the same story. Shit, what the fuck? I tell my mom boyfriend, they don't believe me at all. They like, no, nigga. But they putting two and two together, you know, where I was at, you know. So now, my mom boyfriend, he scammed me out some weed. I give him like 6 ounces, right? He said, yeah, I'm gonna sell this as ounces, right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna sell it around the neighborhood. I'm gonna sell, you know, nicks and dimes and shit, 3-5s and shit around the neighborhood and shit, right? The weed I gave him, never seen it again, right? So, peep game. A few days later, right? I'm down there at their house again. They getting ready to leave, right? The lady and her son, right? So they was like, you want to come up with you? I'm like, no, I'm cool. So the lady asked me like, she's like, Tony, make sure my back door locked before they left out the house, right? So me and Tony went back there. Damn, we went back there, right? And I turned the lock, and then I unturned it, right? So we all leave out the front. She locked the door. They leave. I wait like 5-10 minutes. I come through the back hood. I go straight to the basement. I knew wasn't nobody in the house because I was just in there. I go straight to the basement, right? Now, when I go to the toilet, right, and lift it up, right, I see he hasn't read up, right? But obviously you can tell it's a lot missing, right? So instead of me stopping, I grab more weed. I take like, I think I took another 6 ounces, right? That time. I got to getting greedy, right? I took 6 ounces. Okay. Okay, now, on this one particular day, right, I had went down there, right? We was all outside, right? His mama, him, everybody's outside, right? And I was like, I think I asked, like, can I get some water out their house or get some? She's like, yeah. I hurried up, went in the house and went in the basement. And when I open the toilet, I can see still he hasn't read up, right? But my dumb ass, I put weed in my pocket, right? And I leave out, and I'm like, hey, I'll be back. And I run down there to my house, right? My mama, she getting ready to go to the store. I'm like, hey, I'm finna come with you. Mind you, the weed's still in my pocket. Okay, me and my mom go to the store. Boom, we coming back. We driving down the block. As we approaching our house, I see some figures in front of my mama's house, right? I see my mama, her boyfriend at the time standing there. I see the lady who house I had, you know, the lady house. I seen her brother. He's standing at our gate. I see the little dude who I spent the night with. He's standing at the gate. And his mama is at our gate. So when we pull up, right? Now, a motherfucker always got to tell me to help with the grocery bags, right? But on this particular time, right, I'm like, I grab them when she parked, right? Because I needed something to block my pockets in the front because you can see the weed. So when I get out the car, right, I got the bags in front. Now, when we come to the gate, obviously everybody at a standstill, right? Me and my mom just got out the car. They right here. We at a standstill. My mom boyfriend like, yeah, so what up? I'm like, what up? He like, what you know about some weed getting taken? I'm like, some weed getting taken? I don't know nothing about no weed getting taken. Soon as I say that, right, old girl son say, yes, you did. You told me let's go look for his weed. He blurted that out, right? When he say that, I'm thinking in my head, oh, this nigga just gave us up. But then I remember, like, damn, we never found nothing, right? And then I remember that it was his idea. So I end up saying some shit that I know that they know that I only knew from him, right? And when I say that, I can't even think what it was. But whatever it was, she ended up going upside his head right then and there. Bink! He run down to the house, right? They run off. So my mama boyfriend, he like, so you don't know nothing about no weed? I'm like, no. I'm like, man, I was over there. He was like, I was like, woo woo was like, you want to look for the woo woo? I was like, yeah, but I'm like, I wasn't even really looking, you know, woo woo. There was nothing really they could say, right? I denied it. But here's the thing. Dude who weed it was, he didn't even believe really that I took it, right? He thought his sister took it. And I'm finna tell you why. He thought his sister took the weed because his sister had been, he hadn't been paying her rent. So, or his portion. So she had been threatening to put him out if he don't, pay her some money, right? So he had thought it was her. He thinking like, oh, I think she took my, like, this is what he telling my mama boyfriend, right? Like, I don't even think he did it. What he gonna do with all that weed? I think it was, my sister, woo woo. She been on me, woo woo. He think it's her. She really ain't, saying nothing. It was, after that day, the shit was dead. Nothing happened. But I kind of felt some way, like, from that day forward, like, when I would be outside and he'd pull up, because he had, like, one of them he had one of them conversion vans, them old ones. So when he pull up, right, I kind of felt like his eyes on me, right? I kind of felt like he was mugging me, right? Listen, we smoked good, man, I swear to God. And I got a few people that can vouch for this story right here, you feel me? Man, yeah. But I got another story too, but I ain't gonna hit y'all with that right now. I'm gonna tell y'all the story when my sister was 15, my big sister, she was 15, and she stole $5,000 from my my other sister on my daddy's side boyfriend. So it wasn't my sister on my daddy's side money. She was holding the money for her boyfriend. And my sister ended up taking it. I ain't gonna say no names. Everybody know now, people knew back then, but a lot of shit had happened behind that. Like, motherfuckers ran up in our house with guns and shit. Like, hey, motherfuckers telling niggas, hey, you think we have $5,000 in here? You think we'd be in this bitch? I'm gonna hit y'all with that story, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story, man. Comment, man. All right, I'll holla at y'all. Peace.